Farming for Gartuthia changed my opinion on flight in the 1.0 region. My name is AJ. Let's get right into it. Now, you might be asking yourself, how is this any way, shape, or form related to farming for Gartuthia? Well, let's talk about it a little bit. So, this is my Gartuthia build. It took me about like 5 days to get it, and this is me farming the overworld for these one-cost echoes every day and completely clearing out all the one-costs. The only ones that I didn't really farm were the glacial drakes, and I'll explain to you why. If I got lucky, I got lucky, but let's talk about it. So, if you guys didn't know, which I played Wuthering Waves during 1.0 and 1.1 a lot, if you wanted to build up a really good build on your like Havoc Rover, who was insane at the time, you would run a 4-4-1-1-1, which surprise in big 2025. Running 4-4-1-1-1 is actually viable on a character. Now, typically our builds are looking more like Shakona's build with a 4-3-3-1-1-1 build. This is typically what the builds usually look like, which is obviously the better build. But with a character like Gartuthia, who already gets a lot of arrow damage bonus and stuff like that, she doesn't really need the 3-cost echoes, and she actually really wants these 1-cost echoes because you can have double HP main stats. Now, this is just a personal gripe. I just had to throw this into the video. But the thing that is so annoying about farming for these echoes, now I got lucky with this Glacial Drake, but if you look at the Gus of Welkin, okay, so the Windward Pilgrimage has the Glacial Drake can be farmed from that set. But if you go to the Gus of Welkin and you go over to the 1-cost, Glacial Drake can also be farmed from this. So if you were to farm the overworld and farm for Glacial Drakes, you have an RNG chance of either getting Gus of Welkin or the Windward Pilgrimage, which is like super annoying. So there's that, and then add on top of that the boss material, this other 4-cost for this 4-4-1-1-1 build is shares this also Gartuthia main boss echo mat. So this you can also get from the Gus of Welkin too. So not only is there RNG about, well, I get crit rate, crit damage, attack, HP, defense, whatever the heck the 4-cost substats are. Not only do you have to worry about getting it on set and the right substats, but you also have to deal with RNG of, am I going to get this set or this set, which is super annoying. So farming for this was like an absolute pain to do. So please, Wuthering Waves, never do this again, because it's like, oh my gosh, it makes me want to crash out just thinking about it. But farming for her, not only was that bad, but also just like farming for these 1-costs, it wasn't bad. I actually enjoyed it. It was kind of fun, like exploring through Septima and farming for these 1-costs. But after I finished building Gartuthia, right, and having the ability to actually, if we look at the map and we go over to Renacida and then we go over here to Septimont, which by the way, this area is so cool. I love this area. The fact that you can fly around to most of these areas and it doesn't take that long to get from place to place is awesome. But also the fact that you could just fly to the next echo spot where you want to collect. Most of the time, I would just fly to one spot. I wouldn't even teleport. I'd just fly over there because it was close enough for me to fly. Now, after I was done farming for Gartuthia, I was like, oh, I want to kind of go back and, you know, work on my Camellia builds, on my Sanwa builds, because, I mean, I'm going to be real, I use Sanwa a lot, but her build sucks. I'm just going to be real. Like, you guys can roast her in the comments. This build is absolutely diabolically trash. But I wanted to go back, and I was like, oh, I'll just go back and farm the 1-cost echoes, and the 3-cost, I'll do the tacit fields, and I'll just go throughout the world and just farm these up. And so I was farming them the other day, and I was like, oh, you can't fly in this region. I was like, this is so trash, bro. And so, to be fair, for all fairness, if I was to go over here, let's collect this echo and detect it. If I was to kill this echo, which we'll just do it right now just so I can show you, for the most part, if you defeat echoes, once you collect them, the next one is relatively close to each other. So when you're doing the combat and you actually kill these guys, the next echo that you need to go and farm, like the next spot, is relatively close. Now I could be wrong and this one's like stupid far away, but if we go over and we look on the map, it's relatively close. It's near the next teleport point. Now, if I was able to fly, I would just fly over there. Now, I like personally avoiding having to teleport from teleport to teleport just because of the fact that, you know, going from teleports is like a loading screen, and I'd rather just fly over there. Now, is this something super trivial and like kind of stupid thing to complain about? Yeah, sure. But it made me realize of like, oh, like the flying aspect, it feels so good in the 2.0 region that at first I was really against it. I was like, who cares? And it could be my nostalgia of playing the 1.0 region and be like, dude, I farmed this area like just running around collecting literally every single echo. Like, I remember when the game launched, I farmed the entire world, every single echo, like the entire world. And so for me, I was like, this is not that big of a deal. Like, I remember doing it in 1.0, 1.1, like farm the entire world for, you know, best in slot sets for my characters. So I was like, I just like didn't really care. I was like, it's like they don't really need it. But after coming back and wanting to farm old characters that need these old sets from these older regions, I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, flying does need to be added to 1.0. Even if you have like half your amount of stamina, so you can't just be zooming around the map, I would be okay with it, just because I do think that, yeah, there is a lot more teleport points, so you can teleport from waypoint to waypoint. Like, if you're to zoom in, the teleport points, except for some of these areas right here, for the most part are relatively close together. There are some big open spaces, but this is just water, so there's not really echoes over there. But like in the areas where there are echoes, there are some teleport waypoints. Like, these are relatively close together. Like, most of them are pretty close together, except for the spots where there's water. But for the most part, like, these are all really close to one another, and you can just kind of just teleport to them. They're not super far. But if you were to look at like an area like Septimont, these teleport points are pretty far away. Now, if I was to zoom out, they're pretty far away. Now, some of them are pretty close, but like from here, like this area is a big open space of just like, there's no teleports. Like, the closest one is this, and if you're to farm echoes in here, the closest one is over here or over here, and you gotta fly over. Now, can you fly? Yes, but imagine having to run from this teleport and explore this area. It would be a pain. You know, like, flying just makes it a lot more convenient. Now, that is kind of like the whole point of me making this video. Is like, man, like, I didn't realize that after coming back to 1.0 to reform for echoes, I was like, dang, like, flying would be so nice. So yeah, I thought it was interesting that after farming for Cartethia and then wanting to refarm for old characters to kind of build them up and make them stronger, made me realize just how good flying was, and it made me want it in 1.0 region. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.